I was just watching this super insightful interview with the legendary Warren Buffett, and let me tell you, his perspective on the true meaning of success is just mind-blowing. When the influencer asked him about it, he dropped some serious wisdom, and I just had to share it with all of you. According to the man himself, success isn't just about the money or the fame, it's about so much more. Can you believe it? I mean, coming from someone as successful as Warren Buffett, this is some next-level inspiration. So let's dive into his words and discover the true essence of success together, shall we?
Warren, how would you define true success?
Well, I've said many times that if you get to be 65 or 70 and later, and the people that you want to have love you actually do love you, you're a success. I've never seen anybody that reaches that age. I mean, I'm not talking about somebody that's in extreme poverty or pain or something, but I've never seen anybody that, if they have a lot of people that love them, that is other than happy. And I've seen some very, very wealthy people that they give testimonial dinners to and name schools after and everything. And nobody loves them, you know. Their own kids would say, he's in the attic, you know. Okay.
The message beautifully highlights the idea that success goes beyond material wealth or professional achievements. It emphasizes the importance of love and relationships in our lives. The main idea here is that having real connections with people and being surrounded by love are what truly make a life meaningful. The contrast between people who may have a lot of money or recognition but lack true love and those who may not have material success but have rich relationships is powerful. It's a great reminder that personal fulfillment and happiness don't always come from societal metrics of success like wealth, fame, or power. The mention of kids would say he's in the attic creates a touching image of feeling alone and disconnected, even if someone is famous or well-known. This message is all about the significance of priorities in life. While it's great to have ambition and achieve things, what really matters most is building meaningful relationships. It reminds us that as we reach the later stages of life, what really counts are the love and connections we have with others. Warren Buffett's statement is such a great reminder of how important it is to prioritize personal growth and take care of ourselves, both mentally and physically. Based on its simplicity, his analogy highlights a valuable lesson about the importance of prioritizing oneself over other investments.
What are, say, 3 pieces of advice you would give to people who are looking to succeed in business?
Well, by far the best investment you can make is in yourself. I mean, for example, communication skills. I tell the students that come that they're going to graduate schools and business, and they're learning all these complicated formulas and all that. If they just learn to communicate better, and both in writing and in person, they increase their value at least 50%. And, I mean, if you can't communicate, somebody says, you know, it's like winking at a girl in the dark. Nothing happens, you know, basically. And you have to be able to get forth your ideas, and that's relatively easy. I did it myself with the Dale Carnegie course. Some people wish I'd taken a shorter course now in terms of my talking later on. But it's just hugely important. And if you invest in yourself, nobody can take it away from you. I mean, the second thing, which I'll get a certain criticism for not living it, but I do tell those students, you know, that if I gave you a car and it'd be the only car you get in the rest of your life, you take care of it like you can't believe. Any scratch, you'd fix that moment. You'd read the owner's manual. You'd keep a garage and do all these things. And you get exactly one mind and one body in this world. And you can't start taking care of it when you're 50. By that time, you'll have rusted out if you haven't done anything. So you should really make sure that you just remember that you just got one mind and body to get through life with and to do the most with it.
In today's fast-paced world filled with endless information and amazing technologies, being able to express your thoughts and connect with others is important. Buffett's analogy of winking at a girl in the dark is such a funny and thought-provoking comparison. It's important to remember that knowledge is most valuable when it can be shared with others. I love how he includes his personal reference to the Dale Carnegie course. It really adds authenticity to his claim. It's not just theoretical advice, it's based on his personal experience. This anecdote reminds us how important it is to always work on improving ourselves no matter where we are in life. The car analogy really drives home the importance of taking care of both our physical and mental well-being. It's such a friendly reminder to prioritize our health. Comparing the body and mind to a car, which you can't replace or upgrade, really emphasizes the importance of taking care of your health from a young age. That's such a great observation. It's really interesting how these visual highlights the importance of well-being, especially when it's often overlooked in our busy lives. Buffett's lighthearted comment about his own practices is not only a humble moment, but it also reminds us that nobody is perfect. Everyone has their own contradictions, don't they? But the key is to acknowledge the best practices and work towards them.
What about life advice?
Well, life advice is, the most important thing, aside from the things I've talked about already, is really who you associate with. You want to associate with people that are better than you are. I mean, basically, you'll go in the direction of the people that you associate with, and you want to have the right heroes. You want people, if you want to emulate somebody, you better pick very carefully who you want to emulate. And when, obviously, you can't pick your parents. They're going to have an enormous influence on you, but you don't get a choice on that. But you get choices as you go down the line, and who you admire, who you want to copy, and the most important for most people in terms of that decision is their spouse. It's also important in terms of a partner in business, but the partner in life is the most important one. You want to pick a spouse that's better than you are, and then he or she, and you hope they don't figure it out too fast.
Warren Buffett's message here explores the significant impact that associations have on shaping a person's life journey. I really appreciate his focus on surrounding yourself with people who are better or more advanced. It's such a practical way to improve yourself and grow. The idea is straightforward but also quite powerful. When we surround ourselves with people who inspire and challenge us, we naturally start aiming higher and setting higher standards for ourselves. Buffett's comment about having the right heroes reminds us of how important role models are in shaping who we are and what we strive for. It's important to remember that not everyone we admire is as perfect as they may seem. We should take the time to really get to know our role models and not just judge them based on appearances. The idea that we can't choose our parents, but we have choices later in life, reminds us that even though we can't control where we start, we have the power to shape our own path and surround ourselves with the right people as we move forward. One of the most meaningful aspects of his message is the importance he places on choosing a life partner. Describing it as the most important decision reflects how much a spouse can profoundly influence one's life, including emotionally, intellectually, and even professionally. The ending of the song, where Buffett playfully hopes that the spouse doesn't catch on too quickly, brings a delightful touch of his trademark humor. It adds a warm and relatable element to the already profound insight.
Great. Biggest mistakes people make when investing?
Well, they try to, they just don't realize that all you have to do is just buy a cross-section of America and then never listen to people like me or read the papers or do anything subsequently. They think that because you can trade, you should trade. You buy a farm, you buy an apartment house, you can't resell it tomorrow, and the cost of moving around. Now you get something handed to you, liquidity, which is instant. You can sell, and the cost of doing it are pennies, compared to other kinds of investment activity. So because they can so easily move around, they do move around, and moving around is not smarter than investing.
This statement highlights a fundamental investing principle that Warren Buffett strongly supports: the importance of long-term, passive investing instead of frequent trading. The analogy used to explain stock trading, which compares it to buying tangible assets like farms or apartment houses, makes it easier for everyday investors to understand. Hey there, I just wanted to remind you about the importance of investing with a long-term perspective. It's totally normal to feel tempted by short-term market fluctuations, but it's best to resist that urge. Keep your eyes on the big picture and stay focused on your long-term goals. Happy investing. It highlights the importance of not getting too caught up in market fluctuations and the benefits of being patient and consistent. Buffett's mention of liquidity and the low cost of doing it reminds us of the interesting dynamics in today's stock markets. These attributes of stocks can be quite appealing, but they can also lead to impulsive decisions. It's so easy and quick for investors to buy or sell. Navigating the market with ease thanks to technological advancements doesn't always align with smart investing. The main idea here is that it's better to make smart and thoughtful decisions when it comes to investing, rather than constantly moving your money around. It's all about taking a strategic and long-term approach, rather than getting caught up in short-term trends or panicking. Hey, Just wanted to remind you about the importance of staying grounded in today's fast-paced world of information. It's always a good idea to take a steady and well-informed approach to investing, rather than getting caught up in the daily ups and downs of the market. Do you like this video so far? Please comment investing if you do.
You have a pretty cool morning routine regarding what you have for breakfast and how prosperous you feel. What is that?
Well, I now actually send somebody over to McDonald's usually to get me something. since the publicity I got from earlier describing my habits at McDonald's, I now have somebody go in the office. But that was more for entertainment value. I actually eat exactly what I like to eat. If I liked it on my 6th birthday, at my 6th birthday party when we had hot dogs and hamburgers and Coke and ice cream with chocolate, I still like it. And I don't care about anything subsequently. I discovered it all by the time I was 6. If somebody offered me a deal when I was 20 and said, you're going to live 1 year longer, instead of living to 88, you'll live to 89 or whatever it may be, if you eat nothing but broccoli and Brussels sprouts and onions and all these things. I just said, I'll take the last year off. It probably won't be that good anyway. So I eat what I like to eat. I'm not venturesome in that area.
I love how this message gives us a charming peek into Warren Buffett's personal preferences and his cheerful outlook on life. It tells the story of a man who, even though he has a lot of money and power, still finds happiness in the little things that made him happy when he was young. It's so nice to hear someone as respected as him openly talk about the importance of embracing the simple pleasures of childhood flavors and not feeling pressured to always follow the latest trends. I find his funny story about his McDonald's habits and the entertainment value of having someone from the office get his meal quite charming. It's great to see that no matter where we are in life, it's the little things that can bring us the most happiness. The main idea here is all about being authentic and staying true to who you are. Buffett's honest confession about enjoying the flavors of his 6th birthday more than fancy or healthy foods as he got older shows how genuine he is. His hypothetical about trading a year of life for only eating healthy foods is a funny way of that enjoying life is more important than just living longer. That's a great perspective. It's all about embracing the present and focusing on what brings you joy and fulfillment, rather than getting caught up in societal expectations.
H.W. Bush, I think. Is business school worth it?
Depends on the person. Much more than it depends on the school. I mean, I wouldn't worry. Some people are going to get a lot out of advanced education, and some people are going to get very little. And I don't even think it's important that every person go to college at all. I mean, we have all kinds of jobs at 70 or so thousand a year, or 80,000 a year that college training is not of use. And I actually was not keen on going to college myself. Yeah, my dad kind of jollied me into it. He could get me to do anything. But if they'd had an SAT test in those days, he would have taken the test for me. but because I knew I could have a good time, and I liked investing, and I didn't really feel I could read the books. So I don't, it's a big commitment to take 4 years, and the cost involved, and maybe the loans involved, and everything. And I think depending on what your interests are in life, I don't think it's for everybody. I think it's for a lot of people, but there ought to be a reason you're going, and I didn't really see much reason.
We have Warren Buffett sharing his practical and grounded outlook on education, as he always does. He believes that each person is unique and that the importance of higher education may vary from person to person. It's quite personal and is influenced by your own interests, strengths, and life goals. I really appreciate his perspective on how not everyone has to go to college to have a great and satisfying career. It's especially relevant today when there's this idea that college is the only path to success for everyone. Buffett kindly reminds us about the wide range of jobs that don't necessarily require a college education, but can still offer good pay. His personal anecdote really shows that formal education is important, but it's not the only way to achieve success. Passion, grit, and self-learning, which are clearly seen in his own fascination with investing, can often be just as, if not more, influential in one's journey. Buffett's message reminds us to take a moment for self-reflection before making important decisions. such as choosing to attend college. It's great to see a different perspective in a society that can sometimes focus too much on formal education. College can be a truly life-changing experience for a lot of people. However, it's super important to take a moment and think about whether it matches up with your own personal and career goals.
And finally, what do you carry in your wallet and how much money do you tend to carry around?
Well, I probably carry maybe $400. I actually, my wife likes to use cash, so I just take home a chunk of cash every now and then she doles it out. She looks at my billfold and sees whether all the hundreds are gone. Sticks a few in there, but it's pretty simple.
This delightful snippet offers a lovely glimpse into Warren Buffett's daily life and his humble nature. Even though Buffett is incredibly wealthy, this message shows that he's just like everyone else in some ways. He carries cash and has his wife handle some household financial matters, making him relatable to everyday people. It's really nice to see Buffett being so open about his personal routine. It makes him feel more relatable, don't you think? It's also important to note that no matter how much money you have, certain aspects of life, such as sharing responsibilities with your spouse, stay the same. The way he talks about all the hundreds in a playful way and his wife checking his billfold shows that they have a warm and humorous relationship. This type of shared joke is common among couples who have been together for a while, and it offers a lovely peek into their personal interactions. Basically, this message is just a friendly reminder that even people like Buffett, who deal with numbers, investments, and public attention, still value simple routines and relationships that keep them connected to everyday life. It's amazing how wealth can impact some parts of our lives, but at the end of the day, we all still share the same basic human experiences and connections.
And credit cards?
I've got an American Express card, which I got in 1964, but I pay cash.
Wow, this statement gives us a fascinating peek into the daily routines of a successful financial magnate. At its heart, it celebrates the joy of keeping things simple and efficient in our everyday transactions, no matter our financial situation. It's really interesting to see how someone who has a lot of money and influence still prefers to use cash for most transactions. It just goes to show that sometimes, the simplest methods are the most effective. It's so great to see a refreshing perspective in a world that's quickly becoming digitalized, where credit cards and online payments are becoming more and more common. It's impressive that Buffett has been using his American Express card since 1964. It shows how loyal and consistent he is, which are great qualities to have. However, even though he has had his credit card for a long time, his preference for cash shows how much he values simple and tangible transactions. I can totally understand why he has that habit of saying, "It's just easier." It's something many people can relate to. A lot of people prefer using cash because it's easier to keep track of and feels more immediate than using cards or electronic receipts. If you've enjoyed this discussion and want to explore more fascinating topics, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing to our channel. Let's embark on a wonderful journey of discovery, growth, and inspiration together.